Well, hey, it's good to see you again. My name is Jada Ben, and welcome back to this YouTube channel of mine where there's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. That's right, we've hit 100 subscribers. We've officially reached triple digits here on the YouTube channel. I'd like to start off today by saying thank you. Whether this is your first video with me or you've been with me since Wax Showcase Edition number 1, I'd like to say thank you. I owe you guys a lot, and you've made my year all the much more better. So, much like last time, cheers to you. Anyways, for today's 100 subscriber special, we are going to be talking about something really cool. We are going to be talking about my Setlist binder, along with a bunch of other concert memorabilia that I have acquired over the last couple of years. But first, we are going to start by what is playing in the background just right over there today, and that is going to be the new album from Vatican Shadow, entitled The 20th Hijacker, released in 2025 on 20 Buck Spin Records. This is the project of Dominic Furno, who is, I believe, a member of Departure Chandelier off the top of my head. I believe he plays in a couple other groups. I'll put some of those on the screen here if I can find out more of what he's into. This man plays in a whole bunch of projects and stuff, but this is sort of a electronic, kind of dark ambient project that details the 9/11 attacks from the perspective of a potential hijacker. This is a very interesting concept, and it did just kind of drop out of the blue. I have one of the variants, which is, these were all themed off of the various news stations that covered the 9/11 attack. So I have the MSNBC version, which is this clear with rainbow splatter. If I can find a picture of it, I'll go ahead and put it on screen here for you so you can take a look. There's a bunch of other really cool editions. I highly recommend checking this out. I'm going to link to it down in the description. Vatican Shadow, the 20th Hijacker. We start by looking at the lovely front cover. I actually just did this not too long ago, but of course it says J. Ben Setlist Volume 1. I have a suspicion that this binder is going to fill up in the very near future. The one thing I like to do also with this is I've put a bunch of stickers for bands or labels affiliated to the set lists inside of this as well. I don't have a lot of stickers, so unfortunately this is looking a little blank right now, but we will hopefully fix that in the very near future. After making this cover, I'm kind of going to start doing that a little bit more. We've also got the nice little side on there as well. I had a really fun time trying to design this and make this just not look like a empty binder on my shelf over here. So that was really cool. Of course, we got my friends in Void Witch, we got Baron, they got Tribal Gaze from a very long time ago. I believe I picked that up at their first show off the top of my head. We got Maggot Song, we got Nuclear War Now, we got Sacred Bones Records, and we got my dudes in Anchorite. Just to name a few, again, I've probably got more stuff over here, but again, as we start acquiring more set lists, they will start going on the cover here. So my set list journey began in September of 2022, and of course we're going to go through a couple of those set lists here first. And as a matter of fact, the very first set list that I acquired was from my guys in St. Peeler. This was from their performance in September of 2022 at the 29th Street Ballroom. This was my very first time seeing them. As of recording this, I've seen them 9 different times. So that's really cool. As you can see, I try to label all of my stuff there at the bottom, specifically which band it is, where I've seen them, when I got this set list, and also on the bottom corner there you'll see a little Roman numeral, which is how many of their sets I had. So this in this being the first set list that I have from them. This was September 18th, 2022. So many awesome songs that we did end up seeing. Some of these would become staples. This was before the band's EP ever fully dropped. Very interesting to hear these in a very primitive form. The only song that I've only seen on here once is the song Dragged, which is from their 2018 demo, which is not publicly available anywhere as far as I know, but that's super duper interesting. We've also got, from that same show, Tribal Gaze. This was their very first United States tour and my first exposure into this band, one of my favorite death metal bands in the modern day. I almost did not get this set list because I didn't see it on stage. However, I did get it thanks in proxy to the headliner of that being Creeping Death right here. So we acquired that on the exact same show, it just happened the Tribal Gaze's set was on the other side. And finally, 200 Stab Wounds who co-headlined on this tour. I don't remember the name of the tour. I'll go ahead and put it on screen there in case I do remember, but it came on this awesome piece of cardboard, much like the old punk rock set lists from a very, very long time ago. My setlist journey would kind of take a little bit of a pause. I wouldn't grab another one until probably a couple months later. And probably one of the coolest set lists I have. This is Vader from Come and Take It Live on March 21st of 2023. This set list was actually split into two halves. I have the top half of this set list. I did take a picture with a fellow concert attendee who had the bottom half of the set list. We both took a picture of it and we both went our separate ways, so I hope that man's doing well. I actually put the full set list on the screen here. An absolutely awesome set. I remember rushing down there and getting right in the very, very front, and the sound guy was throwing him out. He curled it up into a little ball and he threw it at me and hit me right in the forehead. And still one of my greatest concert memories. Of course, I have a lot of these because of the awesome concerts that we saw. We've seen groups big and small. This is a group called Sodomy Cop out of Austin, Texas. They opened for No Mas, Null, and Negative Approach at the Parish in Austin, Texas on July 1st of 2023. Some of these sets also, again, just kind of pop up just because, of bands that we saw. This is Bosch, another local Austin band. We actually caught like the very, very end of their set list, but I document for a website called SetlistFM. I'll link to it down in the description, where basically these set lists come in handy because it documents the songs that were performed and by who on what day and who they were opening for and stuff like that. So once I started really getting into that website, I knew kind of collecting set lists was my way to go. That has taken me all over the place as well. These are both from San Antonio. The Paper Tiger, this is a group called Viscerat out of San Antonio, Texas. And over here we have Skeleton, Austin legends, and some great friends of mine the very, very first time I did catch these guys, October 25th, 2023. Then, of course, you've got some other really, really cool sets as well, some bigger bands, not just in the metal scene as well, but like Garrett Teacaps and NASA Country and the Reverend Horton Heat. Yes, I managed to grab one of his set list. I believe this was from their bassist, Jimbo Wallace. So, had a very, very time catching those as well. And as sort of the concert progression continued over and over, I did start picking up other bits of memorabilia. We're going to start with this one here. This is a group called Gutricide out of Dallas, Texas. As you can see in that little pick thing down here, I have a guitar pick from that show. This is my very first guitar pick I ever cut at a show. I have another one over here, but we'll get to that one in just a second. This is from Brent, their vocalist of Gutricide. There was a very, very small show at the Valhalla in April of 2024. There were us and probably about 5 or 6 other people, and then just the band crew in the pit. And we were just all having a great time. It was a very, very intimate performance. But I was very, very blessed to get a pit. This was actually my first 21 plus show, mainly because I go to concerts with my brother, who could not get into a lot of these venues, and I just feel like it wasn't fair for him to go off and just go see this awesome card without him. So we made up for it by a set list and a pick. Later, we would go to one of my favorite venues entitled The Lost Well. We picked up the Invocation set list. This was for the Helios fundraiser by Nuclear War Now. I've got a guitar pick from the vocalist of Unholier, and I believe that thing that hit the ground earlier, actually no, it's not, it's right here. I caught my first drumstick. This is from an unknown drummer, but he drummed for Trench Warfare. So the very, very opening set, I managed to pick this up, which was super, super cool. I have one more drumstick, but we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Just an absolutely awesome show. The drummer just reached out and handed me the drumstick. I grabbed the set list from Invocation by asking the band nicely. And then the vocalist of Unholier shook my hand and left the guitar pick in my hand, which was super, super cool. So you get all these awesome interactions with people as well. Sometimes people that have been in your local scene, or perhaps even somebody who's a legend to quite a few people across the globe. For example, Imprecation and Unholier. It's like I had not heard of these guys prior, but a lot of people turned out to that gig. So it was really, really cool to, dive into that band, not only get to see them live and get a nice first impression, but also, have that interaction with those members who see people such as myself who maybe have never heard their music before and want to make a connection with them. It's just an awesome thing to see. We've got some awesome bands. Again, I mentioned my friends in Void Witch. This was the very first time we saw them at the Lost Well. I believe on this date they opened for Ascended Dead, which was quite an awesome show at that. Very, very nice. These dudes, again, would eventually become great friends of ours. I see their vocalist Luke at pretty much every metal show I go to. I know he's probably watching this video. Hey, Luke, it's good to see you, man. But I remember asking for their set list after the show because I was very, very impressed. Later, again, they would go on to release their debut album very, very shortly after that. So, again, it's a nice relic to have. This is my friends in Sadistic Force, thrash metal band out of Austin, Texas. We're actually going to be seeing them again here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that up on the channel. But this was them opening for Bat, Street Tombs, and Necrot at the Mohawk in Austin, Texas on July 12th of 2024. Speaking of, we've also got Bat's set list. It's a little crumpled because, again, I got hit in the head by their guitar tech with it. Sometimes some of these sets will mark occasions. For example, for Bode, this was them opening for Thraw, Shock Withdrawal, and Void Witch and Cryptic Void. We're all on that set. This was, of course, the farewell show to their buddy Zach, who was, I believe, the drummer of the band. This was also their first show in like 2 years. So again, got a cool marker for stuff like that as well. Got a cool set for Nunslaughter there, the very, very first time we saw them at the Lost Well in September of 2024. Here's my dudes in Anchorite, the very, very first time I saw them. After this, I kind of basically became obsessed with these guys, some of my favorite hardcore acts here in Austin. Another tribal gay setlist for your face there at Parish, opening for Undeath and Cruelty. Yet another St. Peeler setlist. Actually, this one does say El Paso on it, somewhere up here. So it's funny that they actually ended up reusing this. I remember grabbing this at the 13th floor in Austin, Texas, on a little matinee show that they did with a group called Emaciated out of, I believe, New Mexico. So such an awesome little run tour they did, and I got the set list from the El Paso date of that tour, which was also the set list for the Austin date of that tour. We've got my dudes in Martyr, also some good friends of ours here on the Austin, Texas scene. Some more Void Witch for you there. On that very same show that I just showed the Void Witch for as well, I also got the set list for a group called Gravesend. And during the middle of that, I also just so happened to get hit in the head by another guitar stick. This is from their drummer, GP, aka George Paul. I remember they're playing the song, and these dudes are absolutely full-on blasting through their style of grindcore music, and then just all of a sudden, I just get hit in the head with a drumstick. It bounces off my head, lands on the monitor right in front of me, and I just kind of set it off to the side so nobody sees it, and it ended up going in my record bag, and I carried it for the rest of the night. I got another Reverend Horton Heat set list here as well. Also a guitar pick from Brent Williams of the Jason D. Williams band. I believe this was his cousin off the top of my head. But again, this was the Continental Club in Austin, Texas earlier this year. He did a little 3-night run. This was night 3. How would you look at that? There's some more St. Peeler for you. This was them at Mohawk Indoors on February 6th, 2025, actually opening for Maul. Their tour that they were running. This is the very, very first night of that tour. St. Peeler opened, and it was absolutely an awesome night. I believe Morta and a group called Life Cycles were playing on that date as well. It was also a really, really fun show. Probably one of my favorite set lists I have is Undergong. The first time they'd ever played Austin in the better part of 6 years. This was the opening night of the tour. I had to grab the set list. Probably one of the rowdiest shows I've ever been to. I remember just standing there and just absolutely getting wailed on from behind, but one of my favorite sets I have seen this year. Another awesome local act in the form of a group called Sex Cult, who we have seen 4 times this year. We'll actually be seeing them twice more later this year, so stay tuned. You'll actually see some footage of them soon. Some awesome people. I've had the pleasure of talking with them a handful of times. Absolutely very, very happy. They actually did offer to sign this for me. What I do is usually I take a picture and I'll post it on my Instagram. They messaged, said, hey, next time you come to a gig, bring this with you and we'll sign it maybe I might have to do that soon. We'll come back to that in the future. We also got Demiser opening for Nunslaughter at Valhalla in Austin, Texas on the very same night. And then we're going to kind of move into where my YouTube recording sort of thing took off with the not-so-fun weekend festival sets. I only stayed around for a couple of bands because I was feeling a little sick on the day, so I got Cosmic Joke, which was fun. They played a song called Only Gonna Die by, I believe it was Bad Religion, which featured Colin Young of the Twitching Tongues. And then I've got Tribal Gaze, probably my most viewed video on my channel, and seeing some of the songs off Invading Brilliance for the very, very first time, such as Emptying the Nest and Beyond Recognition and Smiling from Their Chariots, which I had already seen before. My brother and I got a duplicate set list here from a group called Entranced from Los Angeles, California. We saw them at the Crowbar earlier this year. Sort of that heavy metal, a little bit of hair metal. These guys were awesome. They were super, super nice, and I'm kind of hoping these guys will come back, but a very, very fun night nonetheless. Just an underrated card that I saw earlier this year. And sometimes, again, as I mentioned, some of these sets will mark like very important dates. This is my dudes in Void, which once again, I believe this is the third set list of theirs that I have. I believe they only have never had a set list on one of the 4 or 5 times I've seen them. So, for example, the song The Wanderer making its live debut, those guys would end up going on to share my footage on their Bandcamp. I'm eternally grateful for them, so this is a cool memento of that show. We got Trench Warfare, again, I have another set list of theirs as well. I also got the drumstick, so some really cool things from those guys. We've got both Morta and Eternal from the Chess Club show. Both of these did really, really well on YouTube, and I know a lot of people really liked these sets, so these dudes are absolutely incredible as well. I had a pleasure of talking with Eternal after the show. Very, very nice guys out of Arizona. I'm hoping they'll come back again soon. Finally, you get kind of also like the really cool set lists, like for example, Labyrinth. I believe these guys are out of Houston, Texas. They did a full like print. This is a group called Cast of Thousands, but on the back of this is the set list for Labyrinth, which is the poster, which also featured Spear Siege, Sex Cult, and a few other awesome bands. So it's really cool to kind of have some of this stuff, because some of the bands will actually go out of their way to do cool things like that. I've got Pig's Blood from the time the Lost Well reopened, my first show at the new location of the Lost Well. I've also collected some wristbands. This is a group called Lathe of Heaven, a little post-punk group. I had the pleasure of posting some of their set list. This was the night shows for Levitation Festival earlier this year. And this guy right here is my Friday general admission wristband, which is a full-on ribbon. It had a little QR code tag in here that you would get the thing at the ticket office, and then you'd go and then you'd tap it against the thing, and then it would open little security doors. It was really, really cool. And it came with this weird like plastic ring that has those like teeth on them that are really hard to get off once you put them on. I did have to cut it. I was going to try to keep this in as mint condition as possible, but I just tied the ends off and I just chucked it in. With the closest set list I have, because I didn't get any set list from Levitation itself, so I might as well show one from the live sets. We got Cruciamentum at the Lost Well, which I posted the full set for not too long ago. Such an awesome, badass gig, probably one of the heaviest sets I have seen all year. And finally, we're going to leave you with a little preview for an upcoming video. This is my friends in Varanth. They played a new song, and they've also played a song that we didn't feature on the live at Crowbar release, Veil of Dark Romanticism Part 2. I'll try to have that up in the very, very near future. But the best things I can say is I do enjoy collecting little concert memorabilia, because it is fun to like show people, hey, these are the cool things I've seen. These are the cool places I've been. These is also just a reminder to me of all the cool conversations I've had, and also very happy that I'm in the particular music scene that I am. I know a lot of places some places are scrapped for concerts, and some, don't ever get some of these bands. So I'm very happy to have some of these. I know a couple people have some awesome setlist binders as well. I'm going to recommend KillBot&GorGorAttack. I'm going to link to his video down in the description. That man has some seriously awesome setlists, including groups like Cannibal Corpse. Like, I would never think to try to get a setlist from Cannibal Corpse. Fun story, actually, I almost got a Dark Funeral setlist from the first time I saw Cannibal Corpse, but that's neither here nor there, as you can see, because it's not in my binder. But I'm also just going to kind of give you guys some tips on maybe how to get some of this stuff. I try to be as close to the stage as I can. Usually, most of the time, that does involve me filming. Most of the bands do not care that I film. I will just say this. I've never really had any bad interactions. Most of the time, some of the bands will flip me the finger, but afterwards we're all laughs and jokes, and usually they're doing it just to play up for the footage, which is awesome. I've had groups like Left to Die and Life Cycles on my Instagram do that. It's so much fun. And also, it's a great way to show off the scene as well. Usually what I will do is I will ask politely, or I will just kind of wait for the band to leave the stage. If they don't take the set list with them, then I feel like it's fair game. I know a lot of people get their set list signed. I just never think to do it, because most of the time I have my records, which I will go and get signed. So that does kind of just push it to the back burner to a degree. So I don't really go for signed set lists. I go for signed records more than anything. And I try to keep everything pretty simple with a binder. I mean, pretty much it's just these inner binder sheets. The particular things I use for my guitar pick are these little coin holders with a little felt back. I'll put the little tags that I put on the pages on the backs of those so I know which member I got it from and when I got it as well. Same with the drumsticks. These are also just labels. I'm not sure if you can see, but again, I put the particular... There you go. I put the particular band member, if I know who it is, and also where I got it from, which band I got it from. The Trench Warfare one, I labeled it with a little number 1 on the bottom corner just because I felt like showing that this was my first drumstick I ever got. But in the meantime, I'm definitely going to be collecting set lists for a little bit longer. Maybe we'll touch back on a volume 2 of a set list binder in the very, very near future. Maybe probably about a year or so from now. But I hope you very much enjoyed this. I'm hoping this inspires you to go out and go see some shows, get some awesome memorabilia, talk to people, and really enjoy your time being in a concert environment. So yeah, that is going to wrap it up for today's episode. Once again, thank you guys for 100 subscribers. We are well on our way to the 250 subscriber milestone that I've set for us next. This particular edition was voted on by you guys on my community posts tab. We were actually stuck between this and another entry, and what I wanted to do is whichever one came in second, that is going to be the next milestone. So at 250 subscribers, we are going to be talking about my 10 favorite non-metal albums of all time. So if you haven't subscribed, click that little button down there, hit the notification bell if you choose to. I'm not going to be that guy that says, hit the subscribe bell, do it. No, I don't care. If you want to see me in your feed, you'll hit the button, you'll subscribe, and hey, I hope to see you again soon. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay metal, and I'll see you next time.